retrospective tax, probably the biggest tax controversy that India has ever seen, is back in the news. Billions of dollars stuck in litigation, at least 10 years, 10 to 12 years lost in litigation, and the controversy that landed India in a suit internationally is back. I am Sachin Dave, Senior Assistant Editor at the Economic Times, and I'll take you through the past, present, and hopefully future of retrospective tax. In mid-2000s, you may remember an advertisement of Hutch, where a kid used to go and a pug, used to follow him all around. And the tagline went, wherever you go, a network follows. Probably this is an apt metaphor for what really happened. Wherever the company went, the tax guys followed. It all started in 2006 when Hutchison India decided to share its share in its India operations to another company, Vodafone. The deal did not take place in India, but through Hutchison's subsidiary in Cayman Islands. After the deal, after the transfer of shares, Vodafone ended up owning 67% in the Indian telecom player. The Indian taxman did not like this because it could not tax the transaction. What the tax guys did was they stuck a notice to the company and asked them to cough up tax in India in 2007. This led to litigation. The controversy, the litigation reached the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that in the current situation, as far as the Indian tax laws stand, India did not have the right to tax Vodafone.
Supreme Court has granted release to Vodafone and the ruling has been against the tax department. More importantly, categorical mention that the sum total of 2,500 crore rupees is going to be returned to Vodafone with interest.
In 2012, the Indian government decided to bring in an amendment in the Indian Income Tax Act.
No respite is really coming in for the telecom giant. The retrospective tax laws proposed in the budget are definitely here to stay. The amendment pertains to the capital gains on sale of assets located in India.
The retrospective clarificatory amendments are now under consideration of Parliament, will not be used to reopen any cases where assessment orders have already been finalized. I have asked the Central Board of Direct Taxes to issue a policy circular to clearly state this position after the passage of the finance bill.
What they essentially did was, this amendment said that if you are entering into any sort of merger or acquisition where any assets are changed, any shares are sold or bought, where the underlying assets, at least 50% of them, happen to be in India, then India has the right to tax such a transaction. Not only that, India went around and taxed not just Vodafone, but 16 other companies who had already concluded the deal 5 to 7 years ago. This came to be known as retrospective tax from here on. The aftermath of this was quite drastic. First, many multinationals are wary of the Indian government. Essentially, this meant that the laws of the land can change at any point of time, even after you make a decision. Secondly, what happened was that this tax was challenged by companies, including Vodafone and Clean Energy. In the international arbitration, what happened this year was that Cain managed to win an arbitration award of 1.2 billion, which means the Indian government will have to return the money that it took from Cain.
The International Court of Arbitration has told India to pay as much as $1.4 billion in terms of damages to Cain, and remember, this is almost close to 8,000 crore rupees.
Cain Energy, on its on its end, decided to take matters even further. It has approached the US courts and asked that Air India be made party to this case.
In fact, Cairn Energy in their appeal have said that Air India is an alter ego of the Indian government, and which is why they are liable for the award that Cairn Energy was supposed to get. The lawsuit also says that Air India is legally indistinct from the state itself.
In August this year, India said that it will refund all the money to the companies that are litigating on the retrospective tax. Against that, the Indian government wants that these companies let go of the right to claim the damages and withdraw all the arbitration and all the litigation that there are in India or abroad. The government is yet to come out with precise rules or how this refund or how this mechanism will work. Many companies are still a little bothered what the rules would say, and they hope that this doesn't end up as a spoilsport. But as of now, at least 7 companies, including Vodafone and Cairn Energy, are willing to settle the matters. What this essentially also means that the international community would feel that India will not go back on its words. Hopefully, this will be the last time we are talking about retrospective tax. This whole controversy has brought in the debate whether companies, multinationals, can save tax. The situation is very simple. If tax can be saved, companies will save it. The debate was never about whether Vodafone should have done the deal through a Cayman Islands. The debate was whether there were laws present in India that could stop such a deal. The answer to that is no. The Indian government cannot go back in time and slap litigation on companies for doing something for which the law was not present. The retrospective tax amendment was still there for the companies to follow it. It is a good step in the right direction that the government has repealed this tax. This is such an economic times.